This is the single most important video I may ever release.
There's concern tonight.
Coronavirus chaos.
Panic attack.
With big developments today in the coronavirus outbreak.
Italy is on total lockdown.
A dire new warning. Australians told not to travel to China.
President Trump insists he does not need to be tested for coronavirus.
I feel extremely good.
Ironically, just as I was about to press record on this whole kit and caboodle and do my normal thing, I went on my phone, just to shut it off in airplane mode, and I had a notification that said Joe Rogan had a podcast. Surprise. Well, the bigger surprise was that he had a specialist on talking about the coronavirus. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about today. Coronavirus. Should we care? No one really knows. No one knows if we've been lied to. No one knows if the information that's being put out is real. I mean, is China even real? I'm not sure. Is the government just trying to keep us suppressed and scared? China. Oh, don't touch my face. Michael Osterholm was the specialist that Joe had on his podcast, and he basically just corroborated everything that I was gonna say. And I'm not even a doctor. In about an hour and a half, I could boil it all down to this. You ready for this? How do we protect ourselves against the coronavirus? You be healthy. Sure, Mom, you should take extra precautions. You should wash your hands a little bit more, maybe do your laundry. But you should definitely also stop wearing those masks, because according to the specialist, it's not doing anything. Unless you're really into Mortal Kombat, then do you, Holmes. Listen, what do we know? We don't know much, okay? We're just being told things and we're supposed to believe it. I mean, for all we know, this guy could be a government shill, okay? The earth could be flat. We're not really sure, okay? There's a lot of things that are out of our control, including information. So what can we do to protect ourselves? Focus on what we can control, such as life, such as. So now that we have summarized an entire hour and a half of another podcast, we can get onto our previously scheduled programming. Hey, it's me. So how do you defend yourself? Once again, in the words of an actual specialist, be healthier. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today, specifically the big four. So step one, wash your hands. Okay, it's actually step one, stop being disgusting waste of sloppy flesh. Step two, wash your hands. Step three, the big four. Okay, now this is 4 different things, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's a lot more steps, but I've talked about the big four in the past, and it's really, really simple. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with what the big four is, it's a little philosophy that I came up with, okay, by reading other people's philosophies mainly, and applying it to my own life. But basically, as far as I can extrapolate, there are 4 main things that you can do to protect yourself against all of life's ill wills, okay? Pillar number 1 is diet. Unless you're 4 years old or you've been living in a padded cell your entire life, in which case I didn't realize my demo was actually that broad and not surprised. But you're probably not, too shocked to know that diet, nutrition, healthy foods are a main driver for our overall health and longevity. In fact, it could be the most important. Today, all you have to really know is that the food that you put into your body is kind of like a language, and the only thing that speaks that language is your genetics. Basically, when you eat whole foods that are nutrient dense and you avoid all the processed junk, you are activating and expressing all of your genes in the exact same way that they're supposed to. This is obviously a huge field, but for the context of today's video, good foods will actually activate genes associated with your overall immune system, bolstering it up, and tumor suppressor, things that are gonna keep us healthy long term. You can't choose your genes, you can't get new ones. Really, maybe CRISPR, maybe in the future, but right now the blueprint's the same. But what you can do is harm the blueprint and kind of down-regulate your genes by feeding it absolute garbage. Kind of like what I talked about in last week's video, diet and exercise are doing way more for you than just you looking good, okay? You are altering your genes via the quality of your inputs. Avoid all the processed junk and the fillers and the excess sugar and the oxidized oils, and you're way more likely to have a strong immune system. And lastly, consider your timing of your meals too. Just like I talked about in my intro to fasting video, if you're not grazing from the moment you wake up to the moment that you go to bed, you give yourself a break in between to actually focus on your immune system and clear up all the dead and whatever cells that might become an issue later on down the road. Stop eating all day, you gluttonous pig. Still love you. Don't be a nightmare. Pillar number 2 is sleep. Earlier I said diet is arguably the most important. Well, sleep could be arguably the most important as well, depending on your age and who you are in general. Sleep is paramount to our overall health and longevity, and by not making it a priority, you're significantly increasing the chances of suppressing your immune system and catching a virus. We all have that friend that's always sick. And guess what? I bet you 9 times out of 10, that friend is always not sleeping. Get rest, get recovery, stay healthy, my friends. Health pillar number 3 out of the big 4 is exercise. Exercise is very good for our immune system. You know, it's not just about looking good. Like I said last week, it's about what's going on under the hood. A little freestyle, I just thought I'd throw in there. But that's how I do. It's just stream of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Basically, when we're exercising, we're elevating our core body temperature, and we're activating things like heat shock proteins, which then activate our immune system for a few days afterwards. So basically, get in your exercise and get in your rest and recovery, and your immune system will always be top notch. Pillar number 4 is a very broad topic. Pillar number 4, stress management. There's a million ways to do it. It's important to note that there is a massive overlap between this one and the other ones. In fact, they all kind of overlap each other, and they all enhance each other and give you a greater benefit when you're doing each of them. That's why we have to do all of them. They're pillars, okay? They're not like the pyramid's only as tall as its base. Pyramid's only as strong as, you know, whatever. Cut candy, not corners. Unless it's cotton candy. Like, cotton candy is really good. You guys remember Fun Dip? Fun Dip was awesome. Nerds. I mean, enjoy your life, but, you know, in general. Until the coronavirus is done, cut the candy. Stress. It's the silent killer, am I right? Whether we listen to these warnings or not, we know that if we do not deal with the stress that we are bearing, that eventually it's going to affect us physically and mentally, and we're gonna fall apart. We all carry stress in different ways, and we all deal with stress in different ways. Some of them are very unhealthy, some of them are healthy. So I would just advise finding what works for you. A few of them could be journaling. You know, when you journal, there's something about putting your thoughts first thing in the morning or before you go to bed. Let that shit go. You know, there's no difference between writing down and actually thinking, so you're working out that process, you're letting your emotions go, and that can be very beneficial. Meditation, there's tons and tons of science, specifically with gratitude. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a good example. He's doing incredible things with his workshops and his patients, basically proving in a Western scientific way all the stuff that people in the East have known forever. Meditation is a great way to relieve stress, become more in tune with your body, maybe in tune spiritually, depending on if you're into that sort of thing. Activate our immune systems, let go of our stresses, and stay away from illness. Again, make sure you're not burying yourself into a hole. Get that rest and recovery. Take time to put away your devices, put away your work. Don't bring your work home, that kind of thing. Get out. Put your feet on solid ground, be barefoot, run around, be in nature, be on the beach if you can, be out in sunlight as much as possible. Sure, you can take magnesium, vitamin D3, there's the things I recommend. You know, you can take supplements, it's not gonna hurt you. You can take vitamins, that's great. But do all of the simple things well first. And the last thing, especially right now, probably one of the most important things is breathing. But not just breathing properly, breathing through your nose, deep, rhythmic, slow, relaxed, diaphragmatic, belly breathing. There's a ton of sources. Maybe I could put a couple links, although I always forget that. Breathing through your nose. There's a lot of books out there, a lot of great content on how to properly breathe, because our nose is an actual filter. It's doing a lot of things. It's becoming a humidifier, and this is a respiratory kind of virus, so kind of important, wouldn't you say? The Power of Your Breath by Anders Olsen is a book that I cannot stress to you how good it is. I read it about 6 months ago. I thought that I was breathing pretty well in general because I had already been doing yoga, meditation, belly breathing. This book changed everything, and it's just affected my energy, my mood. My stress levels in general have gone down. My sleep has gotten better. I used to actually have sleep apnea, and sleeping with mouth tape cured that completely. Be conscious of your breathing patterns. I promise you it'll make a world of difference. Actually, combine that breathing with some hot-cold temperature contrast. If you're in a wintry area, you got a lake, jump in that cold-ass lake. Then jump in a sauna or a jacuzzi or a hot tub or a hot shower, do whatever, go back and forth. If you do that like 2 hours before you go to bed, you're gonna knock out. You're gonna relieve so much stress. You're gonna get great sleep. And that's what I'm saying, all of these things overlap. Eating nutritious foods is gonna give you energy and it's gonna help you repair after you exercise. And if you time your exercise the same time every day, you're gonna solidify your circadian rhythms, which is gonna help you also get sleep, which is gonna also activate your immune system and repair damage and relieve stress. All of this matters, but it's really not hard. Just do it. Stop making excuses. For those of you who've been putting off your health for whatever reason, now is not the time to be putting off your health. I've made a ton of coronavirus jokes. I really don't think about it that much, but I do all these things on a day-to-day basis. I'm a complete health freak, so I'm not worried. But if you are already not in the best shape and you already have illness and you already have disease or you're taking medications, stay on top of those medications and start doing all these other things to get you back in shape. Don't think about the effort. Don't think about how much it's gonna cost you. Just work little by little, day by day, work your way up because you could pay for it now or you could pay for it later. And you don't wanna pay for it by getting the coronavirus. So in closing, like I always say for this series, I'm not a doctor, I'm a chef. Do your own due diligence, okay? Go watch the Joe Rogan with the actual, scientific guy. All this stuff is just the things that have worked for me that are scientifically proven, and hey, I'm basically never sick, except for a couple months ago when I got sick, but we don't want to talk about that. So finally, thanks so much for watching. I really urge you to take this seriously. I really urge you to share this with other people, the people that you care about. Share it on your social media platforms. Tag me in your posts so I can repost that as well. Subscribe, like, and comment. It's really important. That helps me grow my channel and my following and get this message out to more people. So please do so, and please come watch next week's episode. Until next time, my friends, love and peace. Manokis. Shabbat.